The book of Psalms is a unique book in the Bible because it isn't really a book. It's a collection of 150 songs and prayers gathered together into what we now call the Psalms. And as you might suspect, with that many different songs and prayers, there's quite a variety of genres or styles among them. There are psalms of praise and thanksgiving, and there are psalms of lament, people crying out to God in the middle of their suffering. We'll take a look at just a few psalms to give you a feel for how the psalms are written. But first, let's talk about the one thing every psalm has in common. They are all confessions resulting from people encountering God. They are all giving us a glimpse into the hearts of people of faith who lived many centuries ago, but yet have faith in the same God in whom we have faith. We are hearing their confessions of suffering, thanksgiving, praise, and always faith in our Lord. So with that in mind, let's look at just a few psalms. Psalm 46 is a song that starts like this: God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So far, so good, right? The very next line, though, starts to give us an idea about the trouble the psalm is talking about. The earth gives way. The mountains are moved into the heart of the sea. The nations rage. Kingdoms totter. The psalm is confessing his whole world falling apart. And yet, in the midst of all of these things, we hear this confession of faith. God is our refuge. God is our strength. God is our fortress. God cannot be moved. And when you find yourself one day experiencing trouble, afraid of what the next day will bring, you can look to Psalm 46 as just one example and find yourself echoing it in the trouble and in confessing God. Another psalm, Psalm 130, is called a psalm of lament. That means the psalmist is crying out to God, asking for mercy and forgiveness. Psalm 130 starts this way: Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. O Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my pleas for mercy. You can hear in these very first words how deeply distressed the writer is. He's crying out to God out of the depths, out of overwhelming suffering and sadness. But just as in the other Psalms, the writer is crying out to God. He knows where to send his plea for help and mercy, to God himself, the one who is merciful and forgiving. Finally, there are psalms of praise and thanksgiving. These psalms let us hear the hearts of their writers as they give God thanks, such as in Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. What a beautiful confession of faith in God, our Creator. So as you find yourself in times of anxiety or stress, or joy and gratitude, you can find comfort in praying these same psalms today, knowing God's people thousands of years ago experienced the suffering and joy of life just as we do today, and knowing we are hearing their hearts and echoing them in our own confessions of faith in God.